My name is Izzy, and my story begins with a memory I can never forget. The day my father died, I was only 10 when it happened, but the shock of that day still lingers in my heart, haunting me like a shadow that I can't escape. It all started like any normal day. My father, a hardworking man who always took care of our little family, kissed my forehead before heading out to work. "I will be back soon, my girl," he said with a smile, but he never came back. It wasn't until late at night that I heard the terrible news. My father had been found dead near the river, his body cold and lifeless. The whole village whispered about it, but no one really knew what happened. Some said it was an accident. Others said it was something darker. I did not understand then, but I would never forget the emptiness that settled in my heart. As the years passed, the mystery of my father's death remained unsolved. I grew up, went to school, and tried to live my life, but every night I would lie awake thinking about him. I could not shake the feeling that something was not right, that my father's death was not just an accident. The way my mother spoke about it in hushed tones, how she would sometimes cry without reasons. It felt too strange. I had to know the truth. At 20, I returned home after finishing my studies in the city, eager to find answers. I hope that coming back to my childhood home would bring me some peace, but it only made the memories stronger. One night, while I was going through old family pictures in my mother's room, I found something strange, an envelope tucked away in the back of her wardrobe. It was old, the paper yellowed and faded. The letter inside had my father's name on it, but it wasn't from him. I opened it slowly, my heart pounding. The letter was from someone named Adeku. It was dated just a few days before my father's death, and it was clear from the words that the person was trying to harm my father. My father had once met with this person in secret. "You can't run away from this, Adeza," the letter read. "Since you have known the truth, we can't let you live and expose us. Sometimes, some things are meant to be kept a secret." Who was this person? And what did they mean by the truth? The questions kept spinning in my head, and I knew I couldn't ignore it any longer. The next morning, I approached my mother with the letter. Her face went pale when I showed it to her. For the first time in years, I saw her cry openly, her hands shaking as she took the letter from me. "Izzy, please," she whispered, her voice barely a sob. "Don't dig into this. It's too dangerous. Your father got involved in things he shouldn't have, and I could not protect him. I want to protect you." Her words were a cold slap in the face. What was she hiding? Why had she kept this from me all these years? "Mother, please tell me what happened," I begged, my voice trembling. "I need to know the truth. I need to understand why Dad died." Her silence told me everything I needed to know. But even though she begged me to stop asking, I couldn't. I had to know. I had to find out what really happened to my father. I began asking around the village, talking to old friends of my father, trying to piece together the truth. It was hard though. Most people didn't want to talk. Some were afraid, others were too ashamed. But one day, I met a woman named Ohunene, an old lady who had known my father well. When I told her my name, she paused, then invited me inside. Ize, your father was a good man, she said softly, her eyes filled with sadness, but he got mixed up with the wrong people. People who he thought loved him and are close to him. Adeku was dangerous and he had people who worked with him. People who were very close to your father. They killed your father because he found out about their secrets and dirty dealings. I felt my heart stopped. What do you mean? What was this secret he finds out about? Owunene hesitated, looking over her shoulder as if she were afraid someone might listen. Your father was working with Adeku on something. Something that could change everything. But when he realized it was something dark, he tried to walk away. That's when they killed him. My world shattered in that moment. The father I had loved, the man who had always protected me, had been part of something dark, something that cost him his life, and the people who had helped him, those closest to us, had betrayed him. I could not believe it. How could my own family have been involved in something so terrible? As I dug deeper, I uncovered more secrets. Secrets that took me to my core. My mother had known something, but what is it? I need to find out. One evening, when I confronted my mother, she shouted at me, "Why can't you just leave this matter alone? It has been years since your father died. Why are you trying to open closed wounds? Let it be," she screamed. "If you dig up this truth you are trying to dig so seriously, it will break our family bond. So please stop this now," she sobbed. The weight of her words crushed me. My father's death had never been just an accident. It had something to do with our family. And my mother knows it all. The more I learned, the more I realized that my family's history was a chain of lies that had bound us all. But I could not stop. I had to find the truth for myself, for my father. I knew now that the secrets my mother tried to protect me from would forever change the way I saw the people I once loved.